Okay, so recording has started for today's class, and today what we are going to discuss is a very important topic. Share the screen. Are you guys able to see my screen now? I have shared or showing you a PDF. Okay, this is a PDF or this is a theory section for today's topic, and the today's topic is CRR. Okay, it stands for cross region replication. This is a very important topic from the disaster recovery point of view as well as from the data redundancy. Now you guys can ask me, what do you mean by said data redundancy? Data redundancy means making our data highly available. Okay, highly available. That means there is no way or there is no chance our data can be stolen or data can be down. Okay, or data can be down. That is the most appropriate. It's not about stolen. Anything goes with the, I have told you, right? When we create a S3 bucket, we need to choose a region. Why we are choosing a region? Because we are saying that our data will be stored at that region or at that data center, whatever available within that region, right? So those data will be definitely stored on some of the physical devices. Think about a scenario. If I am storing my data in a region, let's assume Mumbai. So we know that there are two or three data centers, right? If I'm going to store my data in Mumbai region, in any of the data center, they will store that. If anything goes wrong with in all the data center in the Mumbai, it is not possible to be practical. But just think about the scenario. If anything goes with the data, whatever you have stored in the Mumbai region, so that means I show you, right? If this bucket, this one, core storage files, if by any chance this bucket is down and this bucket is created where? See in the properties where I have created. I have created in the Mumbai. If by any chance this bucket will be down, so would I be able to possible for me to deliver these assets through my web application, through this website? Will it be possible? No, right? If you want to do that, we can do that. What we can do, we can completely delete this, or we can remove, or simply in the permissions, I think we can remove the course. Just remove this course and see what it will show. So I'm just removing it to show you what will happen. Just think about the scenario, our data is not available. Why this bucket is having some issue? Okay, not an setup issue. I just want to stimulate the stuff. That's why I'm making an setup changes. But think about by any chance where this bucket is created, that data center is down. We know that we are having severe rain critical situation here in India right now. Anyhow, there is flood in that region and that data center have an current disconnectivity or maybe maintenance irregularities. That's why it is down, some kind of thing. Okay, now see, if I go to my website and click on a refresh, okay, now it's still getting things from the, let me open it incognito, or what I'll do, first save the thing, what I have copied from there, saved. Now copy this website, go to incognito. Now see, are we able to see that logo now? No, right? That logo is gone. Why? Because that bucket where we have stored that images or the logo or anything, whatever may be, it may be an image, it may be a GIF, it may be a short video clip, it may be an ad, or maybe a long video, whatever stored in that storage device or that S3 bucket that is down now. That's why. And if you try to download, if you remember last time I clicked here and download that file, right? If I click to hit it, just see course request failed. Check console for error. Okay. It is not able to download that file. So which means your web application is down now, right? That is a real scenario which we are seeing. And most of time we have experience in many big businesses used to face this kind of scenario as well. So what they can do to make their data or to make their thing highly available. That's why there is a feature available in S3 that is known as CRR, cross region replication, okay, which we are going to discuss today. Got a idea, guys? What exactly this thing? Now let me add back that course option to that bucket. I just try to stimulate the stuff. That's why I moved it. I have saved it in my notepad. Save changes. And once I have saved my course, that means I allowed my the stuff to be accessed publicly by other bucket. Now you can access that thing. Okay. Now it is accessible. You can fetch the, if I copy this thing and go to incognito, paste the URL again. See, now you have the logo. If you want to download the file, course is successful, it will download again. See, it got downloaded. Cancel this. Simple one. Okay, we are all good. That means our application or web application is back again. Now let's take a look. What is this CRR and why it is very important for disaster recovery? Because in interview they might ask you, okay, how you are going to make sure that your data is highly available if you are storing your data in an AWS S3. So that is the first thing which you are going to say by enabling CRR. Okay, cross region replication. Okay, first go to theory. Here is the theory. First introduction section. CRR automatically replicates every object uploaded to an S3 bucket to a destination bucket in a different AWS region. From the name itself, it is saying what? Cross region replication. Replication means it will copy your real stuff to another place or another region or another bucket which is created in another region. Okay, that is the stuff which we are going to see now. This helps in maintaining data redundancy and disaster recovery. Okay, that is very important from that perspective. Disaster recovery, which is DR, mostly you are going to heard about in interview. People will ask you, have you ever worked on any DR plan? DR means disaster recovery plan. This is important. Okay, where you are going to make sure that your application will not be down, whatever may be the scenario. Okay, not be down. And for that, definitely we know that whenever we host a application, there are few components needed, the mandatory components. The first one is compute, the second one is DNS, third one is storage, fourth one is database, right? These are the few of the components which are mandatory. And since storage is one of the mandatory component, and we are right now looking into the disaster recovery plan, which you can follow in a storage in the AWS specific S3 case. Okay, and that is CRR. CRR can help meet compliance requirements and reduce latency by keeping data closer to users in a different geographical areas. Okay, here is one more feature or one more advantage you can get if you are having a CRR. Okay, what it is saying, if you have enabled CRR, which means you are going to have two buckets, right? One will be your source bucket, another will be a destination bucket, and both the buckets will be created in two different regions. Now what it is saying here, Okay, think about the scenario. Your application you have hosted and you are having two kind of user base. One is in India and another one is US. Okay, so you are not going to, you will not try, right, your US client or US people to fetch the data from India. Otherwise, it will be highly time consuming, right? The latency will be high because all your assets in India, okay, their request will come all the way from geographical region from US to India, which is something around 12,000 or 14,000 kilometer far away, and fetch the assets or images, logos, and get back to them. That means it is covering something around 28,000 request and response, which is highly time consuming, right? So what you can do, we know that that's a very highly drawback stuff. If you are having high latency in your application, you need to make or create optimized applications. So that to reduce the latency, what we can do, we can create our destination bucket or the CRR or the second bucket as plan of the CRR in the US region, and replicate our stuff into that bucket so that the request come from US can fetch the assets from that bucket directly, the one created in US, right? Instead of coming to the Mumbai whole the way traveling from US to Mumbai, right? Makes sense. That's why it is saying CRR can help meet compliance requirement and reduce latency by keeping data closer to users in different geographical region. Now you can ask me, okay, Pritam, what can we do about if we are having anything Middle East? Okay, in Middle East, if that is the thing, then we can find out a region which is nearer to Middle East, or if there is any region present in the Middle East, we can create the bucket there so that they can get the details from there. Okay, that is one approach of reducing your latency or delivering your data faster. And the first point, what it is saying here, CRR can meet compliance requirements. Okay, in most of the applications, we know that organizations usually follow an audit and compliance process, right? Compliance, why? Because when you are going to sell your product or when we are going to deal with some other company, they will ask you, okay, can you show us what are the compliance policies you are following? That means what are the things you are making sure your application will be secured, or if you are going to use your application, we are making sure that we are having a secure stuff, we are accessing a secure stuff in a secured manner, and that is highly available. Okay, that kind of criteria we puts into the compliance category. And when you are going to have a new vendor or you are becoming a vendor for someone, then this thing comes up. Usually we don't involve in that kind of stuff. The business unit or the senior hierarchy people like CEO and those people are will attend those meetings and they will tell this is the compliance, this is the stuff we are making sure. But the ground level implementation definitely need to be done by us as the DevOps engineer we are, right? And we are more handy with the cloud. So the second point, what it is saying, how this thing works, okay, how this CRR works. Okay, so first what it is saying, there will be a trigger, okay. What this trigger is, when a new object is created or an existing object is modified in the source bucket, S3 detects the change, okay. There is an automation process which we are going to enable in the S3 or in the S3 source bucket where we are mainly storing our object. Okay, and when we store our object in that source bucket, there will be an auto detection process. Whenever you store a new file or a modified file, it will auto detect that thing. Then second step, what it will do, it will replicate. S3 automatically replicates the object, including its metadata and object text, whatever you have associated with that object along with its properties. Okay, it is going to replicate the same stuff to the destination bucket which is created in another region. Okay, storage classes, we know that storage classes also holds a very significant role when it comes to costing, right? So what it is saying here, you can modify your storage classes, okay, when you are trying to replicate it, which means think about a scenario I have told you, right? Whenever we store an object into an S3 bucket, by default it stores under the standard storage class, right? And standard is not higher or not lesser, but it is in the medium range. right? It will store under the standard class. But the assets which you are storing in the US region, you are not sure that whether or how many people are going to access that one. So what you can do, you can store or you can change it. Instead of storing the standard, you can change it to infrequent access. So that if less people is getting access or trying to access your objects in that region, so you are going to have lesser charge, right? So that's what it is saying. When you will be trying to replicate, at that same time, you can change those storage class, which means in your origin bucket or in your source bucket, you can have standard objects simultaneously, the same objects in the US East one, which is your destination bucket, where you have replicated from source bucket or destination, from source to destination. You can change your storage class to infrequent access or anything else, whatever you want. Okay, what are the prerequisites we need for this thing to enable in our bucket? First thing, what it is saying, we need a Amazon S3 bucket. Okay, what is we need two buckets. One is source bucket, another one is destination bucket. I have told you, right? Source bucket is where we usually upload our file, and destination bucket is from where we are going to or from where it will be replicated. Okay, both buckets must be in different regions, right? Why it is saying must be in different regions? Otherwise, there is no sense of having two buckets. Now, if you are creating both the buckets in the same region, right? If you are creating both the buckets in same region in Mumbai as well as in the destination bucket is also Mumbai, and if anything goes wrong in the Mumbai region, then what is the sense of making sure your data is available? Which means if anything goes in the Mumbai, both of the buckets are down, right? So we need to choose two different regions. Second is what most must be allowed there, versioning, right? Versioning must be enabled on both the source and the destination buckets. Okay. If you are not sure what is versioning, then go ahead. I have recordings uploaded. Go through that one, and we have discussed in detail what is versioning, and we also have a lab there for the versioning too. Okay, versioning means keeping track of your all modified files. If you have enabled versioning in a bucket, that means it will not overwrite or it will not replace completely your modified file. It will keep track all of your versions. Okay, then this is the key component. Okay, IAM role and permissions. I have always told you guys, whatever you are going to create or whatever you are going to perform or do in the AWS, in your own account itself, all the resources are isolated. Isolated means they cannot talk or they cannot communicate with each other. Right now, what we are trying to do, we are going to place our assets in a bucket. Okay, and when we place the assets in the same bucket, those assets will be replicated into another bucket, right? That means the copy process is going to happen from one bucket to another bucket, right? So that means there are two different resources we are talking about. One S3, another one S3. Source S3, destination S3. So as I told you, both of them are isolated. Then how they are going to communicate or how we are going to establish the communication between both of them? We need a IAM role along with all the valid as well as required permissions so that that copy can be possible to perform. Okay, or is it confusing? I'll show you when we are going to create or when we will be enabling cross CRR over a bucket. I'll show you there we are going to create or select option to create a IAM role. Otherwise, it won't work properly, because until unless we don't have a communicator or messenger which is a IAM role, we are not going to, or it will not be possible to establish the connection between them. Same goes with all the resources, whether it is EC2 trying to store the logs in the CloudWatch, whether it is your Lambda trying to fetch the details from the S3 which you have created or assuming as an artifact, whatever you are trying to do, definitely there will be IAM role. Okay. So what it is here is saying in the first point, an IAM role must be created with the necessary permissions to perform replication. Okay. The IAM role should have policies that allow it to read from the source bucket and write to the destination bucket, right? We know that within a role we are going to have policies, and within policies what we usually have, we have permission set, right? So what it is saying here, we need to have the required permission so that the role can read from the source bucket and write to the destination bucket, which means it will try to, or it will establish the copy or replica set there, right? So now let's go ahead and try to enable or try to see where we can find out this CRR in the S3 bucket and how can we enable this thing. Let's go. So instead of creating new buckets, okay, what I'll do, since we have an established pattern here, we have a website and we are delivering few of our assets through that website, like a logo and like an text image which can be, or text file which can be downloaded. And that uh, website is present in this static course origin, right? And from where it is delivering our logo and index.html, sorry, that html, the text file from this bucket. This is course storage files. If you want to see all of them, we can go to this list, bring it to the start. Here is the whole S3 dashboard. Okay, here you can see I have two buckets. Here is the course storage files where we have logo and the text file, and this is the static course origin in which I have hosted my static website, right? So I want to make sure that my data or assets, whatever available in this course storage file, because I show you, right? I did some manual testing there and I make that this website is down. Oh, sorry, that bucket is down, that course storage files bucket is down, so that we did not fetch that logo and other stuff there, right? And make sure that where is this bucket created? In Asia Pacific. Okay, now what we need to do, we are going to replicate whatever stuff available in this core storage files into another region or the bucket which is created in another region. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to proceed further. Till now, do you guys have any doubt or anything you want to ask? Go ahead, ask me. After that I'll start the practicals. Anything, Durga, Anjali? Anyone want to ask? Okay. Yeah, Durga, go ahead. That is not our responsibility. Completely, that is not our responsibility. If anything happening in our website, let's assume, okay, let me grab that one. Okay, you asked a nice question. Let's put some real-time scenario. What you are asking, that's a very advanced stuff. Okay, Durga, and that's why we establish pipelines for them. We know, right? Uh, this is our website. So what Durga is saying, okay, this is our website. This is a nominal website. I have just placed two tabs. One is logo and another one is this one. Okay. So what Durga is saying, think about the scenario. Everything is placed in a proper way, but this logo is not coming up. Okay. This logo is not fetching up. So is there any responsibility from our end we have to do? Any testing, anything? Or is it solely responsible of the developers they need to do? If you want to see that, now let me show you that as well. What we can do, where I was having my index.html in the files. Okay, this is the one, right? This is index.html, which is stored in our, if you look at the code, now let me open it in the VS Code. Okay, also guys, everyone download this VS Code. This is very useful IDE for when you are going to write your code. Okay, so this is something which I completely don't understand, and I also don't want to understand that thing. Okay, I also don't want to understand because this is the front-end developer task. They are responsible for that. We have a dedicated team for that, so there is no sense for me to understand this thing. Okay, but what Durga is saying, okay, if anything goes wrong in this website, okay, if anything is wrong in this code, so think about a scenario. Here you can see this is the link which they have added from where you can download the file, and I think there is somewhere we have added for the logo as well. Okay, this is the old file. Okay, this is the old file. This is old index.html. This is for static web hosting. This is completely different. I think, is this the one which we have uploaded there? Let's verify. Okay, this is the one which we are just seeing in our website right now. If you see, there is a URL for the logo, right? If you look at this URL, this is the path to that bucket, right? If somehow people are or the developer team they don't aware about that, we have stored our logo in the bucket, and though they just remove this thing. Let me remove this path completely. Or they put something dummy. Okay, they didn't modify. So are you expecting this? Let me show you that too. So less, I just saved that file, and I'm going to, instead of hosting in S3, I'll be opening this in my local. Okay, here is the index, right? This one. Now see, there is no DevOps logo. Okay, there is no DevOps logo. So what does this mean? This is a error from the developer end. Okay. So they will come to us. Okay. They will ask us. Okay. Can you give us the provider? Can provide the path wherever you have stored. Then once we share that, then what they will do? They will update their file. Okay. They will update, and from where you are going to grab your path, you will go to the bucket where you have stored your data. Okay. Get into that file. This is the logo, right? This is the URL. We are going to copy it and share it with the developer, and share developer will copy that and paste it here. Okay. Once they save it, and after that what they will do, they will push that updated code again into the GitHub repo. And once we have that code in the GitHub repo, after that the pipeline is going to trigger, and that pipeline will be replicating or deploying our updated code into our compute service or into the S3 bucket. Okay, Durga got an idea what exactly will happen there? Okay, let's not deviate from our topic. Our topic was enabling. So first thing what I have to do as per our plan, what are the open source static course if I get into buckets. Okay, on CRR the first thing is we need to create the destination bucket in different region, and for our destination, which region I am choosing here, we can switch to North Virginia. Okay, by clicking here you can switch to different regions. Okay, why I am choosing different region? Because I want this storage service to store all my data in the data center whatever created in the US East one, that means North Virginia state. Okay, I am going to create one bucket, and what I'll name it, I am going to name it CRR course origin assets. Okay, CRR course origin assets. I'm not going to select any of the options. Go with the default and just create the bucket. Just make sure that name is available because bucket names must be always unique. Let's see. Yeah, I think this name is available. That's why it is started processing. Otherwise, it will throw you an error immediately. Okay, so now you guys can see I have the bucket CRR course origin assets, and where it is created. It is created in the US East 1, right? First condition satisfied. Now go back to the source bucket where we are going to enable the CRR. Which is our source bucket? Where we have the objects, right? Where we have the objects for our website. These are the objects or assets of our website. And in that bucket, if you go to the properties, I think in the management, yeah, see, in the management, you can see there is replication rules. So CRR means we have to create rules there. Okay, let's go ahead and create rules. You can create from here as well as create from replication rule from here too. Click on anyone. First thing, what it is saying, you need to enable versioning. That is mandatory. The bucket right now where you are trying to enable CRR, it don't have bucket versioning enabled. So let's go and do it. I just clicked on it and it enabled my bucket version. Okay. Now it is saying just enter a replication rule name. Let's say standard copy rule, something meaningful, or you can say rule 10, anything. Okay. Status is enable. I am going to say source bucket. Okay. Here what it is saying, core storage files is your will be your source bucket. Okay, and what are the files you want to copy from this bucket to other region or to the other destination bucket? There are two options. It is saying apply to all objects in the bucket, whatever object available in my current bucket na, copy all of them to my destination bucket if you choose this option. Or if you are trying to filter your options, like you want to go with few tags, there are few objects or like many objects, out of that there are tags, you want to copy few specific on tag purpose, you can go with this thing. See, you can go with the tag. You can say okay, wherever environment equal to production, just replicate only them. I don't want to replicate dev and stage assets. Those are not that much meaningful or that much not necessary to me. The production that is highly holds an importance, so I want to copy only the production level stuff or assets to that destination. So you can do that from the text, or you can do from a prefix. Prefix means, you let's assume you have a folder structure in your bucket. Okay, there will be a dev folder, there will be a stage folder, there will be a production folder. And what you are saying, just copy all the assets from my production folder to the replication place to the destination bucket. So that you can do. But since we are doing the lab, and to make it more easier and to make it doable within the time period, I'm going with all assets. What I'm saying, all the objects whatever available in my bucket, just copy all of them. Okay, but you have filter options as well there. Now comes the question regarding the destination. Okay, see, in destination what it is saying, choose a bucket in this account or specify a bucket in another account. So what does this mean? I can replicate the objects or the assets in my bucket to Anjali's account or to Somya's account from here too. For that purpose, what I have to do, I have to select this one and have to add the account ID. From where I can get the account ID? Somya or Anjali, they have to share their account ID like this one with me. Okay, they have to share their account ID with me. so that I can add their account ID and the bucket name. They also share that. This is the bucket Pritam we have created for the replication. Go ahead and add it. But right now, where we have created the bucket, I have created that bucket in my account. So I am going to choose the bucket. Okay. And what is the bucket name? Let's go ahead, browse, and I think bucket policy, core storage files, read only, static, only one is US one. Just give me a minute. Let me refresh. We have created that one, right? Static course. Yeah, here it is. CRR course origin assets. Why that bucket was not visible? Uh, Let me set all values again. Standard rule enabled all this account. Let's browse. Now see, I have that bucket now. Why that was not previously available? Because I did not refresh the page. Okay, when I refresh the page, now I have that one CRR course origin assets. Where it is created in the US East one, which is my source bucket. CORS storage files. This is my source, this is my destination. Okay, so that means from Mumbai I will be copying all the files to the US East one. Okay, what it is saying, replication bucket also needs enabling versioning. If you remember, I did not enable any versioning there. If you go to the properties, see what it is saying, versioning is disabled. You can enable that versioning from that bucket point, or we can do that from this place too. If you go and click on enable versioning, see it automatically enabled. If you go to there now and just take a look, this is disabled. What I'll do a refresh. Now see it is enabled. Okay, so which means the relation or the connection between both the buckets already established. It has started performing the job, but it has not replicated anything yet. Why? Because we have not granted the IAM role yet. Now comes the hero, which is IAM role. So what it is saying, if you have an existing IAM role, go ahead, drag it from the this place. Okay, did we have created? No, we have not created anything. So what I'll do, I'll go with a create a new specific IAM role for this operation only with all the required. AWS is wise enough. He can create a role with all the required stuff or required permissions. You can also encrypt, right? You can, when we are trying to copy the replica of your source object or assets, you can create or replicate them as well. By default, we know that AWS SSC S3 encryption will be there. If you want to replicate with the KMS, you can do it. Destination storage class, I have told you, right? When you are going to store the or replicate your object, you can switch or you can change the storage class. That's what it is asking you here. If you click on it, now see what it is saying. These are the storage classes. Which one you want to go with? Okay, which one you want to go with? Standard for now, lab purpose, we will be going with the standard. Okay. Then after there are four options, additional replication options. These are very important ones. Let's take a look. Now let's switch back to our theory again. Okay, what it is saying, configuration options, replication time control or RTC. Okay, there are two scenarios. First one is RTC disabled, second one is RTC enabled. Okay, when RTC is disabled, what will happen? Replication time guarantee, no guarantee. That means what it is trying to convey here, that AWS is not responsible to explain you how much time it will take for the replication, right? You have enabled the replication, but you are not sure whether it will take minutes or hours, and AWS is also not responsible for that one. But you have enabled the replic RTC, then there will be a SLA between you and the AWS, and it will make sure that within 15 minutes your files will be copied to your destination bucket within 15 minutes. Okay, that is the first thing or first power you are going to enable by or getting by enabling the RTC. Then second point, what it is saying, service level agreement. When RTC is disabled, there is no service level agreement. That means there is no responsibility from the AWS that this thing will be copied to your destination bucket within this time period. But when you enabled this one, okay, that means you have an agreement with the AWS within 15 minutes. Usually it don't take that much time. Okay, within minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, it will be copied. But here they are having a buffering time of around 15 minutes. Okay. Monitoring metrics, when it is disabled, you don't get any monitoring metrics, but when it is enabled, you are going to get the detailed replication metrics available. Okay, since this is an additional feature you are going to apply over your replica set, then definitely when you are going to enable the RTC, it will be cost you higher, little bit over butter, it will again going to cost you. So why? Since the AWS is taking responsibility of your data copy, and they are giving you additional features for the monitoring of your data, you are going to have some additional cost here. Okay, but it makes sure that your data is copied to your destination bucket within the time period. Then replication metrics, okay, it derives from the RTC itself. What it is saying, provides detailed insights into the status and performance of your replication process. Okay, the replication process, what just happened or what you performed, it provides the detailed update. Okay, who did it, how did it happen, at what time, okay, what time duration it took to process. Okay, everything you can get from the replication metrics. These metrics are particularly useful for monitoring, troubleshooting, and ensuring that your data, your replication setup meets your performance and compliance requirements. Okay, again, it comes to your audit and compliance stuff. If you have specific requirement like that, definitely you can use the replication metrics there. Third option is delete marker replication. Delete marker replication disable. By default, it is disabled. If you are going to enable, what will happen? Let's see. Preserve objects in the destination bucket even they are deleted from the source. Okay, what it is saying, if if you are going to edit your existing file, right, which means you are going to have a new file, right, the older file will be removed or will be backed up as with a delete marker since versioning is enabled. But what it is trying to say, if you completely remove that file in the source destination, what will happen in the destination bucket? Okay, the destination bucket, if it is disabled, then it will not keep that track, but if it is enabled, then it will keep all your files there. Okay, when you delete an object in the source, it also deleted in the destination, so it will make sure that your source and destination are completely in sync. There is no overhead or not unnecessary stuff is available in the destination bucket. Okay, because storage size also matters. If you are having a high storage size, then again it is going to charge you higher. So you are again making sure by enabling this process that whatever only necessary needed, because see, you are only responsible or you are going to monitor most of the time the source bucket. You don't care about the destination. Why? Because you have enabled the CRR, and during enabling CRR, enabling this delete marker replication is the most important thing. Why? Because it will completely keep sync of your source bucket with the destination bucket. Okay. Till now, whatever we discussed, I told you all the time that whatever you do or perform in your source bucket, everything will be replicated to the destination. But there is only one option or only one way through which, if you perform anything in your destination bucket, that can be replicated to your source bucket. Okay, that is replica modification sync. If you are enabling this option, that means even though you made changes in the US East 1 bucket or any files whatever stored in the US East 1, those files can be synced back to your source bucket as well. Let's take a look. Ensures changes made to the replicated copies of objects in the destination bucket are synced back to the source bucket. This feature helps maintain consistency and ensures that modification to the replicated objects are propagated back to the original source bucket. Okay, when you enable CRR, it only applies to the new objects created. Okay, this is the next or last point, existing objects before CRR enabled. Now I have enabled, I am going to enable the CRR, and we already know there we have two files, right? One is a logo file, another one is a text file. So what will happen to those files? Like, is it possible for me to copy them, or do I have to re-upload and after that they will be copied? Let's take a look at that. Now let's go to our this is the, yeah, this is the source bucket where I was trying to enable the CRR, and these are the four options which we just discussed or gone through right now. Okay, CRR, if I'm going to enable this thing, and delete marker is there. Okay, which makes sure that unnecessary stuff which are not being used are not present in the destination. Replication matrix, okay, replica modification sync. I'm not going to enable any of these now. Okay, these are the real-time use for that I mentioned. Now let's me verify everything is good. Okay, standard rule. Now let's go ahead, save it. Okay, now see what it is saying. At the background, you can see configuration successfully updated. Whatever I was trying to create, it was created. But now it is asking me replicate existing objects. Whatever you are having in your S3, do you want to replicate them now, or you want to be them as they are there, and whatever are being uploaded as new object, you want to replicate them? So what I'll say, no, replicate them too. Okay, whatever existing. Before that, let me show you. This is the bucket which we created in the US East one as our destination bucket. I go to objects, there is no object. Refresh again, there is no object present right now. And once I enable this one, submit. Okay, now what it is trying to say me, automatically run the job when it is ready. Yes, I want this thing to be ready, or job done it by itself. Completion certificate, no, I don't want anything like that. Now permissions, okay, create IAM role. Since I don't have any IAM role, I am saying go ahead and create it. Now save. So at the background, it is creating all our required stuff. You can see now, guys, it redirected me to a different dashboard, or we can say different panel. And that is what? Batch operations. Okay, this is nothing new. There is nothing new happening here. Batch operations, I believe, Anjali, you must be aware about. Soumya is also aware about, right? Batch operations we used to perform in our Linux job, right? So this is the same stuff happening here. A job is used to execute batch operations on list of S3 objects. Job events are published to the CloudWare event. So basically, what is a cron job is set at a specific time, or when it is ready by itself, it is going to trigger itself. Okay, and it will start performing copying the files, copying the objects from one S3 bucket to the another S3 bucket. Okay, nothing is available now. Okay, what it is saying, total objects to complete. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Is it copied yet? Refresh here. This is my destination bucket, right? Refresh it. See, I have my files in my destination bucket. Even though we have a time duration of 15 minutes, but within fraction of seconds, it's just copied. I told you, right, that 15 minute is nothing else. It's just an buffering time period for the AWS, since they are performing an SLA with me. Now you can ask me where they did the SLA. No, they did not sign anything in physical with me, but when we are opting this option, as per their terms and condition SLA, they are having this there. Okay, so Right now you can see this CRR course origin assets, which is my backup bucket, okay, which created over US East 1, okay, is completely in sync with which one? With my source bucket. Where is my source bucket? This one. And go back to that one. Let's go storage files. Here is my. Now you can see completely in sync. And just look at the file size as well, guys. It's 1.5 MB. It's 18 byte. And if you go there, the same. This is 1.5 MB and 18 byte. I told you, right? It is going to replicate the as it is complete file with the same metadata. It is not going to touch them. Since we did not modify the storage class, it again switch back or store them as the standard. All clear how this thing happened here? Right now, two buckets I have. One is Mumbai, another one is US East one. Both of them are sync. Okay. Now, next thing is what will happen if I am going to upload a new file. Okay. Let's take a look. I will be going to upload new file. Let me grab something my downloads. Okay, I have one sample one file. Okay. One.txt where I am uploading this file. See what is the bucket name? This is the source bucket, right? Upload. File upload process completed. Now in my source bucket I have three files: cloudmaster logo png, course.txt, sample1.txt. And in our destination we already have copied cloudmaster and course, and I am expecting the job or the batch process which I have created, whose sole responsibility is to make sure that this source bucket, this bucket, and the other bucket, which is the destination bucket, this one, are completely in sync, should be copying that file from there to here without any manual intervention. Okay, right now you are seeing the destination bucket. Let me refresh. See, it got copied there. Isn't it amazing here? Through the cloud, we are making sure that everything is automated simultaneously, everything is in sync. So if anything goes wrong in my source bucket, so I am having a backup bucket for that one, right? So from disaster recovery point of view, if our the first bucket, the source bucket goes down, so we can get back to this bucket or redirect our traffic to this bucket. From here we can get the details. Clear guys? Or anything doubt, confusing you found it here? 1 second, Somyo. 1 second, 1 second. Just getting a call. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Sir, good morning.
Morning.
Sir, आपली କଥା ହଉଥିଲି ପଲିସି ବଜାର ଇନଭେଷ୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ ସେଭିଂସ ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରୁ।
ହଁ ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ଟିକେ ପରେ କଥା ହଉଛି, ମୁଁ ଏବେ ମିଟିଂରେ ଅଛି, ଆପଣ ପରେ କଲ୍। Yes, Soumya, go ahead. You are asking something. Sorry for the interruption. Hello? Soumya, you are asking something. I'm audible, guys? Yeah, go ahead. Tell me. Hmm. Right, right. No, 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 no. That's not possible. That's not possible. So there, what exactly happen in real time now? When you are having two buckets, okay? You are having two buckets and you are trying to route your traffic. Okay, let's go ahead and draw a diagram. Let me open my diagram sheet. What exactly happened or what exactly I'm going to do or show you. Let me show that stuff here. That's an excellent website, guys. If you want, you guys can collaborate with me here as well. Okay, if you can see, you can log into and use my workspace too. And it is excellent to create diagrams or architectures. Okay, and here you can see we have last year we created one for the static web hosting. Let's see. Okay, what are the, okay, there are so many stuff we did. Okay, nice. So now let's go ahead and take a look this one. Okay. What exactly happening? Okay, what exactly we are doing right now? I am going to give you a broader picture right now. Anjali, see it, focus. I am going to give you a broader picture what exactly in real time people are doing in the cloud. So I'll add the origin first. Okay, here is the S3 bucket. Right now what we have performed right now, can anyone explain me what I have we have did till now? We have a static website, right? I have told you there will be two kinds of website. One is static, another one is dynamic. Okay, in static means what? There will be no backend process. It is completely like a blogging site or whatever, like about the page of a company, or like something they want to show you. There is no process. Once you get into the link, then after that from there you can get redirect to any other pages where you can perform any sort of operation. Just think about like a website where you can add to your cart, where you can wish list, right? Anything is nothing like that happening here. So it's a static. So what I have did right now, I have enabled static website in my S3. Okay, from here, this is S3, right? Static website is enabled here, right? Right now, from where we are accessing, these are my users, right? Let's Soumya is a user, Anjali is a user, Durga is also a user. Okay, everyone is trying to access my website directly from here, right? If I draw the arrow now, all of you are trying to access my website directly from here to your location. All of you are trying to do, right? And through what you are trying to do, throw a URL. And what is that URL? Grab that URL, throw this URL, right? Using this URL, you all trying to access our website. But in real time, have you ever seen any URL like this? Have you ever seen any URL like this? No, right? Everyone uses a URL which is meaningful. Everyone uses a URL meaningful. Think about my previous URL, which was cloudmasteracademy.in. This was my previous URL, or something meaningful, right? In my current company or my previous organization, we used to have which can be understood by normal users. Think about flipkart.com, right? Think about Amazon, right? Those are names. Those are not like random things they have segregated or they have consolidated all of them and putting you there, right? and simultaneously the URL which I am right now trying to access, it is not secure. So how anyone is going to trust you, and why they should access your website, right? So what comes into picture to overcome those kind of scenarios? There will be, we are going to, in our next classes we are going to see what is cloud front. Okay, this is the cloud front, and then after that, here is what this will be, R or route 53. Okay, this is a complete flow. This is a project, guys. What I am explaining you right now, this is a project. Okay, this is a project. You guys can easily mention this project in your resume. How you have hosted your front-end application in your this kind of project. So three components we are going to integrate. One is bucket, where we are going to store our static content along with the assets. From that bucket, we are going to replicate the content to through the CloudFront, through the Route 53, and there will be a domain name, and our users are going to access the resources from there. Got an idea? Why CloudFront? Why Route 53? That's a separate question. But how it is going to deliver? Anjali, you got the picture? CloudFront we are going to use to make our website secure. When we will going to use the CloudFront, at that point we will have the ability to attach a certificate to our website so that our website can be secured. Secured means HTTPS URL. Okay, HT hypertext transfer protocol along with security. Our website will be like that. Okay, but till that point, we are not going to have a sensible name like cloudmasteracademy.in. If you want to have a domain name like that, then you have to, or we have to integrate Route 53 again, where we are going to create a record. Okay, and from that record the traffic, that means whoever looks for this URL cloudmasteracademy.in, or suppose anything, any institute.in, any college name, whatever we are trying to do, what basically happening here, DNS is working. DNS means simply try to understand domain name to IP resolver. Okay, when you are trying to hit a domain name, that means a name available in the internet, it is in the background, it is basically converting into an IP address or to an internal domain URL. So when someone hits cloudmasteracademy.in, it will completely come through the internet all the way to the Route 53, and Route 53 will say, okay, this is thing I know, and you need to go to the CloudFront. Okay, from CloudFront, you are going to get the details, or the index.html will be delivered from our this bucket. Now coming to Soumya's question. Okay, if anything goes, let's assume this is the static bucket and this is created where, this is the source static bucket, and this one is created in AP South one, right? AP South one, this bucket is created, right? And as per Soumya's question, this bucket is going to down. What we can do? Simply, what I can do, as per our plan, we have two buckets right now, right? One is, another is one, what? This is US East one bucket, and this is our destination bucket, right? Destination bucket. What will be going to happen now? both of the buckets are like this. Okay. So right now our traffic is getting redirect all the way from CloudFront to this one, right? And as per Soumya's questions, AP South one bucket is down. So what we are going to do, that's an manual intervention task. We need to do it manually. We immediately go and we know that all the stuff, whatever available in the AP South one, all of them available in the US East one, right? So we are going to redirect this traffic, whatever is pointing to there, simply from there to this bucket. Soumya, makes sense to you? Right, right. Once we, then after that, what we have to do, we need to download all the files from this destination bucket. Okay, once we download them from the destination, then after that we can create another one bucket and then store our file to there. Otherwise, we can wait for a couple of hours. Once S3 is back or up, the AP South one, which is our main origin bucket. Go ahead. Yes, it will replicate. It will be up. It will be up with all your contents by automatically. Okay, this is the real picture. Right now, what we are doing, we are accessing our website through this URL, which is not a proper way, right? What's on you? Right. There is no downtime. That's what we are here. Why people hire DevOps engineer? Because they want us to make their application highly available. What I am telling you right now, this is a broader scenario. If interview ask you, okay, in interview asking you, have you ever worked on any higher, like any project where you make sure that your application is highly available? You can simply put this scenario. This is a way which I planned or I created a structure where I demonstrated or where I established the diagram or the architecture like that our front-end application never goes down. Or if goes down, there will be a lesser downtime within fraction of minutes. Instead of creating, think about a scenario where you are going to create a bucket, again store all your files, copy from your local to some it definitely it is more time consuming than just redirecting this location to that, right? And this is the first project which I am going to demonstrate or we are going to do in our AWS here, where we will be hosting our static website, the one right now which we are accessing through here. And this is, to be honest, this is not a secure one. To be honest, this is not a secure one. If you click on it, see what it is saying, not secure, which is not a best practice. We have to make it secure. Also, we have to make it highly available. We have to make sure that it consumes low latency. Everything we are going to do one by one by integrating new resources. And this is a flow where S3 is going to deliver the content through the CloudFront, through the Route 53, through a URL to our users. Okay. Anything, Anjali, you want to ask now? Or you got an idea what exactly we are planning to do? This is a broader plan which I thought of like explaining when we are going to move into the Route 53. But anyhow, since Somya asked me today about the downtime, so I explained this one. This is the real picture we are going to see. Right now, we are accessing our website through this one. But just wait, once CloudFront is done, once Route 53 is done, then after the you are going to access our website through cloudmasteracademy.in or anything, any domain name, whatever suggest or goes good with us, then we are going to purchase that one domain name, and after that we will be integrating that with. Okay, this is clear picture, guys. And after that, once we are going to have this traffic, this will not be allowed. Okay, this will not be allowed. So that whoever trying to access our website, they need to go through this process. Route 53, CloudFront, then the bucket. This is the static content till now, whatever we are. Keep that in mind. This is all about front-end hosting. Okay, and this is an highly optimized pattern where we are making sure that we have low latency, our website is highly available, and with a proper way, with all the best practices followed by the standard or enterprise level practices. Okay, so we have our source bucket here. This is the website bucket where I have posted my application. This is the source bucket, and this is the destination bucket. So making sure that my data is highly available. Okay, so if anything you guys want to ask me, you guys can ask me. Otherwise I can stop recording, or after that we can discuss anything else. Okay, seems like all good. So let me stop my screen sharing. Also, I'm going to stop the recording too.